Hi guys. So I was going to make this video after I had done my hair and my makeup. Had been a little bit more presentable, but you know what? Fuck it. This is how I've been looking for the last week. Pretty much going outside of the house too. Like, yeah, that's what it's been about. Not cute at all, but whatever. I don't care anymore. Obviously, I cared enough to wait so long this first week, but we're past it. So now you get me, morning glory, baby on one boob. I'm not going to show you that though, so don't worry. You don't have to flag me or anything. But anywho, wanted to share my birth story. I know there have been several people asking me. They have um, they're either pregnant and are wanting to know how I started labor going, or, they're just like I was before I got pregnant. I loved watching the baby story on TLC. I loved finding YouTube channels with people talking about their pregnancy or their labor stories or whatever, kind of like, makeup tutorial stuff. It's kind of like baby tutorials. It's fun, whatever. Um, so this is our story. It's pretty humorous towards the end, not gonna lie. It got a little bit crazy there. Um, but all in all, I mean, I feel like my pregnancy was fairly straightforward. There weren't a whole lot of surprises. I wasn't terribly sick. I didn't have a whole lot of complications. I know that I've kind of mentioned to a few people when, like, the first trimester, when we were getting screened for, um, you know, the possibility of Down syndrome and all of that, we found some other things that I'm a carrier for. I'm a carrier for thalassemia. If you don't know what that is, you can look into it a little bit. And then I was also a carrier for spinal muscular atrophy, which that one really scared me. The thalassemia didn't really bother me a whole lot, but the spinal muscular atrophy really scared me. But thankfully, or I guess due to genetics, once Jeremy got tested and he wasn't a carrier, then there wasn't that much of anything to worry about. So once that all passed, then it was kind of just the normal first time pregnancy. Is that normal? Should I be farting this much? Should my stomach be stretching that way? Should my back hurt here or there or at this time versus that time? The normal stuff. So, whatever. I keep saying whatever, but it's not that big of a deal, I guess, to me. It wasn't that bad. It really only got uncomfortable toward the end. Like, really uncomfortable. um, I I only puked for 1 week, and that was because I was exposed to a lot of chemicals at work and quickly nipped that shit in the bud. Um, so, I mean, through the whole thing, my pregnancy sort of rang true to the family tradition. If you're having a boy, it's not that difficult of a pregnancy. If you're having a girl, you're fucking dying. So we'll see next time if I have a girl, how I'm feeling, or, along those lines. So anyway, so to my labor and delivery story. So I was kind of updating Facebook pretty regularly at my 38 week midwife appointment. I was 2 centimeters and 90% effaced, so pretty much everything was ready to go. The midwife was pretty sure it was going to be any time. I was pretty sure it was going to be any time. I was getting really uncomfortable. I you know, had pineapple pretty much every day. I heard that helped induce labor. Um, what else was I doing? We were walking. Even at work, my new job, I got a new job in November, and it's a desk job. So my old job, I was on my feet all day long. This new job, I'm pretty much sitting at a desk for most of my day, but I made excuses to get up and walk around a lot more often. Not really excuses. People knew what I was doing. I was trying to get that baby out. I wasn't fooling anyone. But, I mean, I got up out of my chair a lot more often than if I had not been pregnant. I found ways to, you know, get around and, you know, all of that stuff. So, pineapple, walking. I had been drinking, I think the brand is called Herbal Medicinals. Um, I think it's Herbal Medicinals, and they have a pregnancy tea, and then they also have a red raspberry leaf tea. When I was trying to conceive, I drank a lot of the red raspberry leaf tea because I read that really builds up your uterus. It helps that muscle. I don't know how that would help in conceiving. Maybe to strengthen the muscle, it helps the placenta latch on or whatever, stay latched on. So I did have a few miscarriages before this guy. So I was, you know, trying everything, and not everything, a lot of different things to try to stay pregnant. And anyway, tried that at the beginning of the pregnancy. It must have done something because he stuck around. And then toward the end of the pregnancy, I heard you're not really supposed to be drinking a whole lot of it in the middle, just because it strengthens your uterus, but it can also bring on contractions. So if you are, you know, like me, where I had several miscarriages, I wasn't really willing to risk it in the middle and, you know, go into preterm labor and, you know, him not make it or anything. So, didn't really take it in the middle of the pregnancy. In my last trimester, I think I only started taking it, in like the last month or so, maybe second to last month. Started drinking it again, ran out of it, and never went back to the store to get more of it. And then once that 38-week appointment came, and I was really close to going into labor, I was like, yeah, gotta bring that tea back. So I was drinking the pregnancy tea, the red raspberry leaf tea, eating pineapple, walking, and at that point, that's all and then sex. Okay, so here's the thing on sex. Everybody talks about, yeah, have sex. Get the fuck out of my face, because we did that. Did not help at all. Thank you. And it's very uncomfortable, and I'm fucking hot, and I was sweating. We weren't even really doing anything, and I was fucking sweating. And yeah, so fuck all of you guys. Pretty much. The only thing that I can say that was probably really good about sex was that it helped me dilate. So 38 weeks, 2 centimeters, 90% effaced. Went back at 39 weeks, and I was at a, and 38 weeks, it was a straight up 2, could be stretched to a 3. So at 39 weeks, it was a 4, could be stretched to a 5. So all of that sex we were having, that's all it did, was help me dilate. It didn't help me with contractions. I kept having Braxton Hicks contractions that would start up, but then wouldn't progress. And that's even with, we're going to get really personal here. So that's even with having sex pretty much every night, once every night. And then that's also me orgasming. And I was reading up on it. At first, we didn't really care if I was orgasming. I'm going to be honest. I did not care. I just wanted his sperm with that prostaglandins or whatever it is that stimulates the uterus or the cervix. And that's all I cared about. Started reading up on it. It's the orgasms that start the contractions. That same, it's the same mechanics basically. So that's really what you want to start your contractions. That didn't freaking help me. All it did, I mean, it was nice, duh, but I mean, to get there, so uncomfortable, so hot, so sweaty for no freaking reason. I just stop recommending that because you hear it from everybody, and it was so annoying because it wasn't working. It does not always work. Anyway, that's my rant for this. So anyway, 39 weeks, 4 could stretch to a 5. I think like 90% or so, maybe a little bit more. I don't know. But then it was also pretty cool at that appointment. She was telling us, I can feel hair, and that was cool. His hair, not my hair. Because I had a little bit of acid reflux, and I had maybe a couple of nights where I woke up and my chest really freaking hurt. Like, I thought something was wrong. I'm having a heart attack, but in hindsight, that was probably just heartburn. And that's one of those old wives' tales. If you have a lot of heartburn, then your baby's going to have a lot of hair. Well, yeah, he has a lot of hair, but I mean, it was like 2 nights where I woke up and my chest really hurt, and I just got up and pretty much it like drained away. And the acid reflux wasn't horrible. It was just kind of like, I don't know. It was just a little uncomfortable a couple of days. Well, that was it. But I had hoped he would have lots of hair, and he did. So anyway, that was a cool little thing. And also at my 38 and 39 week appointment, I had my membrane stripped. Now, that is really uncomfortable. But I found that if you are, so there's different stations for the baby's head to be in, like -3, -2, -1, 0, 1, 2, 3, and that's sort of like how far down baby's head is. I found that when baby is further down, like, I guess further down in the stations, it hurts less. Like when they check you to see how far along you are, it hurts a lot less when baby's head is further down. So I don't know why that is. Maybe because they don't have to reach. Like, she had to go up, like in there, and then reach up. So it was like, it felt like her arm, fingertips to elbow, was all up in my business. I know that's not what it was, but that's how it felt. And like, she was pressing up, pushing like everything in my vagina up to my belly button, and it hurt. So that sucked. But anyway, after that 38 weeks, I had my membrane stripped. That was horrible. I reacted so horribly, like crawled up the bed and like was sweating cold sweats and was trying to breathe, but I couldn't breathe. It was so uncomfortable. And so the lady pretty much just did like one one circle in there and was like, okay, we're done. But she was pretty confident that that was going to be enough to get things started because I was already dilated, mostly effaced. You know, you're pretty much there. And I did lose my mucus plug that weekend. So that was on either a Thursday or a Friday. By Sunday night, I had lost my mucus plug. So I was pretty sure that next week I was going to be going into labor. Didn't happen though. 39-week appointment came along, was a 4, switched to a 5, same effacement, stripped my membranes again. This time I knew what to expect. This time I was able to brace myself a little bit more. And I was also ready to be done, so I fucking sucked it up and took it. So she was able to be in there a little bit longer and really, strip away the membranes and get that stuff going. It didn't really do anything after that. I did spot more so the first time than the second time. But didn't really have any cramping or anything like that. I know that a lot of people say they, they cramped pretty well and, started having a few contractions after that. Mine, it was minor cramping, nothing bad, and I was having the same Braxton Hicks contractions that I was before. Bless you. So, yeah, it was, I don't know if that helped anything. I don't think it hurt anything. But, just if you're thinking about getting your membrane stripped, I've heard now, more often than not, it doesn't do anything. I've heard maybe two people that it really worked, like in person, two people. And then I've seen, I was looking into YouTube stuff and people's blogs and stuff like that to try to get some reassurance. But like two real people that I talked to on a normal basis and I was asking about it, they were the only ones where they had their membrane stripped and within 24 hours they went into labor. So take that for what it's worth. It didn't work for me. It was really uncomfortable. And for me, I don't know that it was really worth it. But whatever. I don't know. It felt like it was being proactive about it, or like I had some sort of control over when I was going to be going into labor. But, at the end of the day, I don't know. I guess it all depends. So, at the 39-week appointment, my midwife was like, yeah, at this point, I'm sure you're going to go into labor. I'm almost positive I'm not going to see you at your 40-week appointment, but, make sure you still have that appointment just in case. Hi. Good morning. Yeah, so she was pretty sure that this membrane stripping, like everything that I was showing was going the right direction, all of that stuff. I think we all know that no, it didn't happen. Bless you. It didn't happen. So I was waiting, so uncomfortable. And what was really freaking annoying in that last week was, so I went to work Monday and Tuesday. Tuesday night, started having Braxton Hicks contractions. that were getting really regular. And that's what I was waiting for, because when I was having them, false labor, then like the contractions weren't getting consistent. They would get, within a few minutes apart, but then they would stop for, several minutes and then start up again, have a few in a row that were pretty consistent, and then would stop. And it just went on like that. They were pretty painful too, like pretty low, like menstrual cramp feeling. In my back, I felt it. So pretty uncomfortable. And I thought, oh, okay, so it's starting up. It's just needing to get more consistent. So it seemed like every night too, it would start to do that. We'd wind down from the day. It'd be like 7 or 8 o'clock or so. And then they'd start up. And all we were, I hope you guys could hear that. He just farted. Oh, such a boy. Okay. So, um, around like 7 or 8 every night, they would start up, would not get consistent. On Tuesday night, they started up and were starting to get consistent. So it was like, and again, it was like 5 minutes apart, like 5 or 6 minutes apart. And I don't know. I don't like going to hospitals. I don't like making a big fuss out of my health, out of things that I knew labor was coming, right? Everybody knew my labor was coming. I'm not going to freak out, oh my gosh, this is it, let's go to the hospital, and then waste my freaking time and my energy going to the hospital just to have them tell me to come back home. So, I mean, already I'm going in with the mindset, like, I'm going to be damn sure I'm in labor before I get my ass in the car, go to the hospital, and waste everybody's time with, oh, I'm in labor, no, you're not, bullshit. So, it's a good thing I did, because that night I was pretty sure I was going to be going into labor. No. It was like, it stayed at, I think maybe like 4.5 minutes might have been the closest it was, but a pretty solid 5 minutes in between each one. And I know that I had them for like an hour, maybe 2 hours, before I was like, okay, well, I'm going to try to go to sleep. Because if this is it tonight, I mean, sleeping's not going to turn them off. So I'm going to try to get as much rest as I can. It's obviously going to be in the middle of the night when I have this baby. So I don't want to be all cranky and, just exhausted and not be able to get through it. So I got myself to bed. Got a heat pack, actually, like the Tylenol and a heat pack, like that's going to do anything for actual labor. And I actually have a bit with the heat pack later. But yeah, like I took a Tylenol, got my heat pack, and went to bed, and kind of periodically woke up in the night to like stomach cramps, like menstrual feeling cramps. But it never got worse. So I woke up in the morning, was freaking exhausted, ended up not going to work the next day. So I was like, yeah, I'm going to be so pissy and just not fun to work with. I'm going to be tired. I don't want to work all day and then come home and end up, going into labor or go into labor at work. And I'm just, not good to be around. So ended up not going to work that day. And then, so it was Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. I ended up not going to work. Pretty much all for the same reasons. I kept thinking I was going into labor. The contractions kept being super close together and staying that way, but then it never got more. The contractions stayed at the same intensity. The time, while close and consistent, did not get close enough. Um, so yeah, it was just a big waste of my energy and made me super anxious and excited, but just anxious because I was like, freaking come on already. Like, get out of there. You're just teasing me all day long. And so, through all of this, I was still eating pineapple, still walking, um, still drinking all of that tea. I We ended up going out and buying one of those exercise balls, the big, I don't know, exercise ball. It's like a bouncy ball that you can sit on. And I sat on that, bounced around, rotated my hips and all of that stuff that they showed us in the birthing classes we took. If anything, like that stuff probably got me more dilated than if I had just laid down or sat down or whatever. Um, so I don't know for sure, so I can't like super recommend it, but I mean, it did feel nice after like you're sitting there contracting and it's just nice. It kind of like the rhythm of bouncing sort of soothed me at least. And it felt like that little like drop in gravity, or I don't know, sort of like a roller coaster when your stomach is coming up. um like it felt like it relieved it for a little bit. So I don't know. That could have just been me. I could have just been going crazy at that point. I don't know. But anywho, so yeah, that's pretty much all we had. Pineapple tea, walking, ball. Um, I want to say that that was it. Like, oh, and then the sex. Fucking, yeah. Um, so the spicy food thing, I didn't eat terribly spicy food. I did try to get more, like, I don't know, like, how would I put this? Gastrically stimulating foods. Yeah. Tried to get those in there. So, like Taco Bell, I was eating. I ate some Panda Express. Um, got some coffee. They say, I don't know. There's a lot of things they say don't eat or drink or whatever during pregnancy. Gonna be honest, I ate and drank a lot of it, and he's fine. My pregnancy was pretty awesome, you know, compared to some horror stories. So, I mean, just kind of, as far as that goes, don't be stupid about, you know, what you're putting into your body, but don't be super afraid to, oh my God, that had deli meat in it, and oh my God, I can only have one Coke in a day, not even any Coke because it has caffeine. I can't have any coffee because it has caffeine, and, you know, all of that stupid stuff. Like, go in moderation, but, you know, don't be super afraid of all of that stuff. Um, but that's just me, you know, talk to your doctor, you know, whatever I have to say as a disclaimer so that you don't sue me. Because some people are fucking dumb. Anyway, so yeah, did drink a lot of coffee, had Taco Bell, had Panda Express, what else? Can't really think of what else I had that was supposed to get things going inside. But that's also kind of like orgasms where it it's the same mechanics. Like your stomach is contracting, and so then that stimulates your uterus to start contracting, and it gets it like a rhythm going. Uh, but anywho, did all that stuff, did not work. It did not work. Um, And I also knew that um, I was looking into, at this point, like, shit was getting real. I was getting really uncomfortable, really frustrated. Um, my due date came and went. Um, and also, like, I know I told a lot of people, I was pretty sure he was going to come a week early. I was pretty sure because he was big. Everything was progressing the way it should have, closer to my due date. I just felt weird that going into that 39th week. Yeah, I was just sure he was going to come that week early. And I was pretty sure from the beginning that, like, that week was supposed to be my due date, or my due week, my guest date, I guess some people call it. But yeah, I was so frustrated by the time my due date came and he was not out. And everything was like perfect. Everything was perfect for him to come out, and he just did not come out. So at that point, I was getting desperate. I wanted him out. I did not want to do any inductions or, do like a C-section date or anything, which I don't think my midwives would have let that happen anyway, just because everything was healthy. He was still growing. And yeah, so I don't know. But started looking into alternatives. I had been looking into castor oil. If you don't know about castor oil, well, that is, he just farted again. Castor oil is an old school, sort of keep your regular medicine. Like if you talk to your grandparents a lot of the time, they'll talk about, their parents would make them take a teaspoon or a tablespoon or something a day. And like that's just what everybody used to do. Just a spoonful of castor oil. Excuse me. Okay. That will be edited out. But yeah, so ugh, are you getting mommy sick? Anyway, that's an old school